Harvey Beaks is up next.
A lot of the time you'll hear nostalgia-clouded people screaming about how there aren't any good cartoons anymore compared to the ones from their childhood. Ignoring the fact that many of these cartoons from their childhood were pretty bad, there's actually a plethora of unique and interesting cartoons on offer these days, and Harvey Beaks is one of those shows. The show was created by C.H. Greenblatt, who had previously worked on SpongeBob SquarePants, The Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy, and was the creator of Chowder. Harvey Beaks debuted on March 28, 2015, and performed well enough to receive a second season. Unfortunately, late last year the news broke that Harvey Beaks had been cancelled. I'd heard mostly positive things about the series, so it came as a real shock to me seeing it cancelled so soon. But rather than taking everybody else's word for it, let's swoop in and see what Harvey Beaks is all about for ourselves. I need to kick things off by mentioning that I really dig the intro music for the show. It's got a distinct feel and character to it, which I was immediately drawn to, and once you've watched a few episodes, it's incredibly obvious that the intro and its music fit the tone of the show perfectly. The best way to describe Harvey Beaks as a show in a nutshell is to call it sweet and innocent. The show follows the titular character Harvey, who would have his picture next to the definition of innocent in the dictionary. Harvey is just so freaking adorable. Sometimes his naivety and pure goodness gets a little frustrating or annoying, but this is mostly done on purpose and usually serves as a key point of the episode. You're actually supposed to find his innocence and goody two-shoes attitude annoying at times. Apart from Harvey, almost every single episode features his two best friends who also happen to be twins, Fee and Foo. Fee and Foo are the complete antithesis of Harvey. They're troublemakers by nature and they thrive on getting up to no good. They're never malicious or deliberately mean though, they're more like your classic cheeky class clown type kid with a heart of gold. Going into the show, I didn't expect them to play such a big part, with some episodes even just focusing on Fee and Foo and not even featuring Harvey for a single second. Putting two polar opposites of Harvey and Fee and Foo together makes for often hilarious situations, and it works well to create a number of really unique stories. Fee and Foo are actually really damn deep for characters in a show that I would assume would be aimed at the younger end of the kids demographic. First of all, Fee and Foo are both parentless and homeless. The twins having no parents isn't really touched on with too much depth, but it comes up from time to time, and whenever it does, I always felt really sad for them. I did enjoy that there were no concrete answers for where their parents were or why they were alone, as it allowed my imagination to play through so many scenarios of how they did end up on their own. They spend far more time focused on their homelessness though. Fee and Foo sleep in a tree, and I'm not talking about like a tree house or anything, it's just a straight up tree and they're sleeping on the branches. I really did feel for them, but at the same time, it's shown many times throughout the season that they're happy with how they live, and ultimately, they're fine as long as they've got each other. The other thing of note is that almost all the other kids in the show dislike Fee and Foo. Most of the kids can't stand their wild and carefree ways, except for Harvey, who latches onto them, most likely because of how different they are to him. They're honestly treated incredibly poorly by the other kids at times, and it actually felt like an accurate representation of a typical schoolyard. Harvey Beaks features a number of recurring side characters, from both the adults and the kids. Here, the overwhelming majority of supporting characters are batshit insane. The writers turn a lot of the personalities of the characters here up to 11, and it creates some of the most hilarious moments on the show. The show mostly uses actual kids for the young character voices on the show, and it also features Matt Berry as one of the parents, which I got a kick out of because he was incredible as Douglas Renham on the IT Crowd. I did find that some of the characters' voices seemed to be a little ill-fitting. At times, I'd be introduced to new characters, and when they'd open their mouth, the voice that came out just didn't seem right, which could be a little distracting.
Wednesdays, something brand new is taking over Nicktoons. Critters are calling it mesmerizing, brilliant, and
too much fun!
Guilty as charged!
Nicktoons is the home of brand new Harvey Beaks. The bird is back with brand new danger.
I am gonna be trouble.
Brand new beef.
I'm giving you one chance to live.
And a brand new toot. Peter's back down. Harvey's back in town.
'Cause I'm the bandit, and that's what I do.
Don't miss brand new Harvey Beaks. Wednesday at 9. Nicktoons!
While I haven't seen every single cartoon that has aired in the past few years, from the knowledge and experience I have with the more recent cartoons, I feel like Harvey Beaks stands out in the crowd. A lot of modern comedic cartoons are going for that sort of random and outlandish style of millennial humour, for lack of a better term. While Harvey Beaks does feature that, it's mostly relegated to the side characters and up to them to be zany and off the wall, and they're not really featured in a lot of episodes. Rather than being off the wall and flying at a mile a minute 100% of the time, Harvey Beaks feels more relaxed and toned down. The sweetness of Harvey rubs off on everything and leaves you with a sense of happiness and positivity for life that you don't often get from a TV show. I also felt that the writers weren't afraid to switch things up and try things outside of the box. The best example of this is the episode where a comet will be passing by Harvey's town. The first 11-minute segment of the episode focuses on Harvey, his dad, and his friends hiking out into the mountains to get a great view of the comet passing, while some of Harvey's other friends stay in town, which is shown in the second episode. I really loved seeing the same time period but from two different perspectives, and while it isn't exactly an original idea, it's not something you see often in a kids' cartoon. While I did mention the intro music earlier, I still have to give a shout out to the music featured in the actual show. It is so freaking good. The music for the show was composed by Ego Plum, who had previously worked on Making Fiends and has done work for Star vs. the Forces Evil, and even worked with Danny Elfman. The music for Harvey Beaks was apparently played by a 40-piece orchestra, and it shows as the soundtrack is impeccable. I think my biggest knock on the season is that it drags on a bit. There are 26 episodes here, each being 22 minutes long, with each episode split into 2 segments. While I didn't feel like the episodes dramatically dropped in quality or anything, trying to get through so many episodes can end up feeling like a chore. I would have liked to have seen maybe 10 episodes withheld from this season, with a 16 episode setup seeming like a more enjoyable experience to me.
A man walks into a bar.
Go home, you dummy!
Oh, I know it. I'm not wanted. The dummy. You're the dummy.
Harvey Beaks Season 1 is great, and it's hard to see it dropping off in its second season. I'm utterly shocked that Nickelodeon cancelled this, as it's of the highest quality you could ever ask for from a brand new show, and it really is unique and stands out in this era of cartoons. There are a few flaws with the show, but these could have all been easily fixed by just having the production team working together more and having more experience. Harvey Beaks must not have been a hit with the kids and had to have rated poorly, as I really can't see why else it would have ended up cancelled. While it is disappointing to know there won't be more episodes past Season 2, the decision to make these seasons 26 episodes actually seems like a pretty good one, as it means fans like me are left with a sizable amount of content despite its early demise.